Ahoy, mateys! Welcome to Podcasts of the Caribbean, a podcast covering the world of Pirates of the Caribbean, from the theme parks to the movies and everything in between. My name is Justin Helmer, and I will be your host on this voyage through the Caribbean. It be too late to alter course now, mateys. Hello and welcome back to Podcasts of the Caribbean. This is another bonus episode, and today I'm excited for you all to listen to my conversation with Jonathan Swindle. Jonathan is a Jack Sparrow impersonator in the Sacramento, California area, and he has been dressing up as Jack Sparrow for 20 years, since 2006. And aside from impersonating Jack Sparrow, he is also a huge Pirates of the Caribbean fan. And we talked about almost every aspect of the franchise, from the films to the music, the characters, favorite dialogue, and even the novelizations of the films. Both of us had so much fun recording this, and hopefully you all enjoy this episode just as much as we did recording. So without further ado, here is my conversation with Jonathan Swindle. All right, so I guess we'll start off. You can introduce yourself. Who are you, and what do you do?
Hello, I may look like Captain Jack Sparrow, but my name is Jonathan Swindle, and I am a local actor in the Sacramento area, and I also have a bunch of different other jobs. I was in the Air Force for about 7 years, and then now I still work with the government. And, that job pays the bills, but, I like to do Jack for fun. So, yeah. Uh,
Very,
Also have my own little entertainment company, Captain's Calling. So, I can go be Jack for hire anywhere. So, yeah.
very cool. Very cool. All right, so I guess what was your first exposure to Pirates of the Caribbean?
First exposure, let's see. Are we talking about just the films or Pirates of the Caribbean,
I
like
guess
the ride as well?
in general is
In
fine.
general, probably when I was really, really little, probably around 4 years old.
Mm.
We had a Disney sing along VHS, and on that VHS, I think I had Zorro. It's a Small World and the Pirates of the Caribbean ride
Mm.
on it. And I remember watching that and the song playing and then seeing all the animatronics, and it really scared me. It wasn't until I got older where I was like, oh, that's cool. And then, yeah, I think I was around maybe 5 or 6 when I went on the ride. I think that was in 96, 97. Yeah.
Very cool. I guess, and then did you see Curse of Black Pearl like when it first came out, or was it something you saw later on?
Yeah, I remember. I think it was for the Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. They had one of the first previews for Curse of the Black Pearl. And when I saw that, I was very interested because as a little kid, I was like really into pirates in general.
Mm.
And when I saw that, I was like, oh, pirates film, finally. And then, yeah, I when it came out and I saw it for the first time, which back in 2003, there was a lot of movies out that time. There was The Return of the King, and then Pirates, and then a bunch of other like blockbusters. So at the time, I was really excited when I watched it,
Mm.
but I feel like it wasn't until 3 years later when Dead Man's Chest came out, that's what like really hooked me
Mm-hmm.
because just at that time as a small child with all these big blockbusters coming out, I was just overwhelmed. But then, it kind of subsided a little, and then that film like reinvigorated it for me.
Awesome. What was it that made you like fall in love with Pirates of the Caribbean?
Uh what isn't there to love? I mean, definitely the characters, the music. I think with that first film especially, it's like a perfect film. There's it covers all genres, so there's a little bit for everyone. There's romance, comedy, a little bit of horror, action, adventure. So I think that kind of like really drew me, is that it is for everyone. If and anyone can watch it and have a good time. It doesn't take itself completely seriously either. So, and obviously the films just look gorgeous. So it captures the eye, and it's like, oh, I want to be there. Yeah.
Spirit. All right. And I guess when did the idea of coming, or when did the idea of dressing up as Jack come to be? Was that after Dead Man's Chest came out, I assume?
Yeah, yeah. It was right after Dead Man's Chest. So it was Halloween of 2006. I got invited to a dress up party for Halloween, and I was, really in love with Dead Man's Chest at the time. Like, oh, I want to be Jack Sparrow. So I just found a really cheap costume at the Walmart by my house. And I've even sent you a picture of that first costume. Wasn't that great, but at the time I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be Jack Sparrow. Went to the party, and all the people thought I looked like him, but in retrospect, looking back, no, I looked nothing like Jack Sparrow. But yeah, I think that kind of installed in me. Yeah, I want to keep doing this.
That's awesome. I guess
Yeah.
after that, like, what kind of made you keep wanting to like dress up as Jack or kind of improve the costume and stuff like that?
Um, I think it's people kept saying, "Wow, you look so much like him." I'm like, no, I don't. I got to strive to be better. So I would always like um, go do some updates. I would watch the first two films as much as possible, or any Johnny Depp film, just to try and pick up on his mannerisms and his facial expressions. And and also at the time when I was little, I was really into um, impersonating people on TV. Or I think when I was really little, before Pirates came out, it was a lot of Jim Carrey, because he's very has very facial expressions, and does a lot of funny voices. And I always tried to make people laugh growing up. And my dad was also in the Air Force, and he was always gone. So my mom would make like little home videos with us and have me be characters and stuff. And uh, we'd watch those and send them to my dad. And so the I think the love of acting also helped with wanting to be more like Jack Sparrow. And that's just continued throughout uh, my life as a kid, a teenager, and as an adult. Um, and so, yeah, I would also improve on the costume. My mom used to be a seamstress, so she would help me when it came to the actual costume parts. And then I remember when I constructed my first wig, that was very time consuming, and it was a lot to handle. It wasn't that great, but I loved it. Just the art of making things from hand, and being able to present it, and people think, oh, wow, that's real. And you're like, haha, I'm getting away with it. It's not.
Yeah.
So I think the the spirit of Jack is also inside the making of it. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and the costume looks fantastic right now. It's amazing.
Oh, thanks. I think this is probably my fifth or sixth iteration of doing it. Because I've done, I've tried to do a version from every film, including the Young Jack and Skeleton Jack and Cannibal Jack. So I try to keep doing every iteration that comes out, and that it can be very time consuming.
Mhm.
But not just me, but there's I think it was back in 2008 or 2009, there was a Facebook group that was created called The Locker. And it's where anyone who likes to dress up like Jack Sparrow or impersonate or anything like that can come in, and we all give tips and tricks, and we send each other to different vendors and give them like different links to websites where they can find how to make a costume and all that. And so it's a very tight knit community. Only Jack Sparrow is allowed, but it's something that only Jack Sparrows really know of,
Mhm.
and so it's kind of like not really known. But yeah, if you know a Jack Sparrow, he probably knows another Jack Sparrow. Just so you know.
Very cool. And yeah, I guess the costume must have been an incredible time-consuming process. I mean, I'm just looking at like the wig and everything. Just it must have
Oh
taken
yeah,
just
I mean,
such a long time.
yeah, and yeah, it's been about what 20 years now since I started. So, yeah, and there's been a lot of different costumes, a lot of accidents, a lot of wigs falling apart, a lot of holes in the pants and places we don't want seen. So, yeah, it can be rough, but it's fun and very expensive. There's people who try and just buy the whole costume. That's gonna break the bank. You want to try and start off small and just recycle. I'm a big fan of thrifting, and so I like to go find stuff at thrift stores and reuse stuff. That way, it's I'm very budget oriented, so you're not busting your wallet just to look like someone. Yeah.
Hmm. Then, do you like add anything unique to your costumes, or do you like to keep it like as screen accurate as possible?
Yeah, I mean, when I have like a gig now, that I'm doing it professionally, I try to keep it as accurate as possible, and I'll try and go with what the client really wants. Most people want the dead man's chest look because it's the most recognizable and iconic. I prefer Curse of Black Pearl because it's way more comfortable as an actor because I'm not wearing so many belts and
Hmm.
stuff. But and it's just a nice, clean look for Jack Sparrow, in my opinion. I mean, what? While I'm on this subject, what's your favorite look for Jack Sparrow?
I think the Dead Man's Chest one is my favorite, but I do have a soft spot for the Curse of Black Pearl. It's so simple, but it's also
Hmm.
so elegant at the same time.
Right?
But I
Yeah.
do really like the Dead Man's Chest one a lot.
I'm there with you. I do wear the Dead Man's Chest outfit out the most, but yeah, Curse is my favorite to wear. But in saying that, yeah, there's two things, at least in this wig, that are personal to me. One tied to this is a tiny little key, and that's for a chest that I usually take with me on my gigs, and it holds all my like little all the goody goodies for the children, eh? And then also on this dread, there's two coins, but the bigger coin, that's from my very first wig that I ever made. So I keep that one tied in just as a reminder where I started.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I guess do you have any like standout memories from like your time like doing events or anything like that?
There's a lot of memories. Some of I probably got about three favorites, which I'll probably list off. One is so when I was younger, me and my family would go to the Scottish Highland Games because our lineage is Scottish. My parents run the NorCal not pirate, sorry, the NorCal Highland uh, clan tent for our clan. And then so we would go to those a lot and Renaissance festivals and pirate festivals whenever those popped up. And I when I back in like 2006 when I was dressing up like Jack Sparrow a lot, uh, I would go to the even to the Scottish Games dressed as Jack. Sometimes I'd wear a kilt, sometimes I wouldn't. But there's this one time, this one family was off in the distance, and this little boy, he was crying his eyes out, and he was screaming and putting up a fit, just screaming, "I want to go home! I want to go home!" And then he we're getting closer, and then he stops and like looks at me, and he's like, "Oh, it's Jack Sparrow. Mom, it's Jack Sparrow." And he runs up and gives me a hug. I'm like, oh, mate, how are you? How did you know I was going to be here? Thank you for coming. I didn't know. Oh, hold on. Here, I've got a gold coin for you if you can be a good boy for your mummy. No more tears, only tears of joy, eh? And he's like, oh, thank you, Jack Sparrow. Mommy, I got gold. And then he was just smiling throughout the day. And then it wasn't until we were about to leave, the mother comes up and she's like, oh, thank you for being here. We were just about to leave because we could not put up with his tantrum, and it almost ruined it until you came. So thank you for making our day, for making his day. And I think that is why I continue to do it, is because if I can just make one person smile and make their day better, that means the world to me, and that's why I continue to do it. Another memory is I had this was last year. I had just done a party for this family, and this one boy, he was autistic, but he loved pirates, and his family went all out. They had pirate ships in the yard. Their whole living room, their backyard, which had a pool, had ships in it, cannons everywhere. They went all out, and the boy just would not leave my side. And he's like, "Hi, Jack Sparrow. I love you, Jack Sparrow." And it was just, we had a great time, and all the effort that they put in for him, that touched my heart. So yeah, and I'm glad to see like everyone can enjoy pirates no matter where you come from or who you are. And so those two memories are the best. And then one last memory, it's kind of a naughty memory. It's it was when I first turned 18, and I went to a Renaissance festival as Jack Sparrow, and the security guards came up to me like, "All right, you're under arrest." I was like, "Oh no!" and and then they're like, "Okay, no, we won't arrest you if you take a picture with us." And then so I took a picture with all the security guards, and they're like, "Okay, now let's go get drunk with Captain Jack." And then they actually took me and got me a drink, even though I was underage. And I was like, okay, I can get away with anything as Jack. So
That's
yeah,
hilarious.
those three memories are kind of my favorite.
That's so cool. Yeah, it's kind of like honestly, that's how like I feel with the podcast. Like when people reach out and say, "Hey, the podcast is so amazing. Like I love finding people who are so passionate about Pirates of the Caribbean," and it makes you feel like so warm inside that like you are affecting someone else in a positive way. Like it's an incredible feeling.
It's yeah, I agree. It's the best feeling, and to be able to share that with like-minded people, I think is so great. Because especially nowadays, I feel like we're all kind of a little lost.
Mm.
So it's really nice that we can all gather around something like a like pirates that can bring us all together, and we can all agree on something.
Mm. And I guess so. What is your favorite part of like impersonating Jack Sparrow? Is it doing the voice? Is it getting dressed up? Or like, what is your favorite part of that?
Definitely not getting dressed up. I have it down to where I can now get it under an hour. But before, especially when we're talking about Dead Men Tell No Tales, Jack, no, I'll go strap in, get the girdle out. Oh, that's time consuming. But I think doing the voice, yeah, that mate. No, no. All of it. Can I say that? All of
That
it.
works.
I like interacting with people. Uh, yeah, I like making people laugh. I like it. I like making them cringe as well. Not in a bad way. Like there's this one time, um, I was at a Comic Con and there was someone dressed up as Chewbacca, but they had a box of dog bones. So I grabbed the dog bone, licked it, and then ate it. And they're like, ugh, only Jack would like that. But yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I just so much to love, but definitely doing the voice. Oh, and walking like you're drunk, but you're not. I think I walk better as Jack than I do if I'm trying to walk straight. Yeah, it's so weird now. Like I I can sway and stagger perfectly fine, but when I'm trying to walk straight, that's when I trip myself. So it's kind of weird now, but yeah.
That's awesome. Well, so what is it about the character of Jack that makes him so appealing to you, or I guess just like what is it about Jack Sparrow that you love the most?
Ooh, I think overall it would be kind of what he stands for, and it's freedom, right?
Mm,
It's the being able to do whatever you want with no consequence. Well, okay, maybe little consequences, but most of the time you can get away with anything. You can say whatever you'd like to say, do whatever you'd like to. You might get a few looks, but you get away with it. Um, I think yeah, freedom because with how things are going, I feel like there's less and less of that in the world where we can be who we are and express that and be accepted for it. So I think for like pretty much the whole world accepting, you know, a weird pirate to be who he is, I think that's amazing.
that's awesome. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about him too. I mean, like I think what the character stands for is why he has become so popular since like the
Mhm.
movie's release. Um, and yeah, he's just an amazing character. Probably one of the best like film characters that has ever been
Oh
created.
yeah. Oh yeah. And an iconic look. I
Mm,
mean, we kind of have uh, jokes about it in the locker, but like you put this wig on anyone, they'd still think it's Jack Sparrow.
mm,
They're like, oh, that's Jack Sparrow. For the general audience, anyone with the hat, the coat, they just think, oh, is that Jack Sparrow? So it's like I think there's only a few characters out there that can pull that off. I think another one would probably be Indiana Jones, the fedora and the leather jacket. You see someone wearing that, you instantly think Indiana Jones.
mm.
And I think that's the same with Jack Sparrow. Tricorn and a coat, they think it's Jack Sparrow. Yeah. Um, but besides Jack, who's your favorite character?
My favorite is Will Turner. He's always been my favorite.
William.
I don't know what about Will made him my favorite. Like he's always been my favorite ever since I was a kid. So I'm not really sure what like attracted me to him at first because I didn't know who Orlando Bloom was when I was a
Mhm.
kid. So
Yeah.
I don't really know what it was about Will, but he's always been my favorite character. I think especially now I love his arc, how he goes from like a blacksmith's apprentice to pirate, then the captain of the Flying Dutchman in At World's End, and especially in Dead Man's Chest, where you get all those hints about what his future is going to be and how his destiny has been foretold, essentially. And
Oh yeah.
I love how that all plays out and his relationship with Elizabeth. But yeah, he's always been my favorite ever since I was a kid.
I love the Welsh as well. He's good. I think you kind of need Will Turner. The first three films definitely solidify that. And then a bit of the fifth, because when we got to On Stranger Tides, we saw what we were missing. I mean, they tried to
Mhm.
put in Philip as a replacement, but no, it's you need that foil to Jack, and Will fits it perfectly.
Mhm.
And he's what the best swordsman throughout the whole series.
Yep.
It's been like said by the writers Ted
Yep.
Elliott and Terry Russell. Yeah, but like the fact that what you said, coming starting off as a blacksmith to captain of the Flying Dutchman. What an arc!
Yeah.
So yeah, he's pretty up there. I think another favorite. Oh, I mean Barbosa, right?
Yep.
God, what a character! If Jack Sparrow wasn't in the movie, Barbosa would hold it for the pirate side at least.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what a look! And taking the stereotypical pirate
Mhm.
and just making it like he did it first. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably another one of my favorites. And this is probably a controversial opinion, but I also love Scrum.
I love Scrum as well. I think
I
he's
love
so
Scrum.
underrated.
Yeah, he is. I love how dumb he is. We need that. We need some of that, especially after not getting Pintel and Rigetti.
Mhm.
Yeah, we needed some. But yeah, Scrum. Oh, I don't know if you noticed this. I think I I think they were hinting at it. I'm not sure why they call him Scrum.
I don't
And
know.
in Dead Men Tell No Tales, when he breaks uh part of the what is it called?
Oh, the
Uh
the capstan
yeah, the
thing.
capsule
Yeah.
when he breaks one of the levers and falls,
Mhm.
and he yells crumbs. So I'm thinking like he said that so much that he probably said scrum once, and then they were made
Um,
fun of him.
that's a good
But
theory. I never thought
that's
about it that
something
way.
I kind of picked up on. I was like, are they trying to hint at that? But yeah.
Yeah, I love Scrum. He's a nice kind of like fun little sidekick to Jack
Oh yeah.
that where he can kind of say something like not that Jack is stupid, but he can say something kind of
Right.
stupider than Jack, and Jack can kind of be like, "Why'd you say that?" I think that's pretty funny.
I think it's also he's a good character if Gibbs were to pass on
Hmm.
to take his mantle. And
Yeah,
I think they kind of showed it where, Gibbs makes him the captain
yeah.
to get beaten up. So I feel like Scrum could take over for Gibbs if Gibbs were to no longer be around.
Mm. But yeah, there's so many. I honestly, I think every single character from Pirates of the Caribbean is iconic in their own way. Like Jack, of course, Will and Elizabeth,
Mhm.
Barbosa, and then Gibbs, Pintel, and Rigetti. Like there's so many like characters that like
Oh,
every single one.
Norrington is also like
Yes, yes.
he I yeah, I think because I've been listening to your podcast for a while now. I think I just finished uh the last episode
Mm,
the other day, and uh I just like you, like at first I didn't like him,
mm,
and then he just grew on me throughout time. I'm like, oh, what a great guy.
yeah.
He's such a good guy. I'm like, oh man. But yeah, he especially in Dead Man's Chest
Yep,
as a pirate, that's a great look for Jack Davenport.
yeah.
He should always have a beard.
Yeah, he looks so good in that movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to see more Norrington. I know a lot of people would love him to come back. Obviously, he died, but
Right, right.
yeah, but
But I
he's
mean, so did Barbosa, so did Kinda Jack.
that's true.
So people can come back from the dead. Or he could be a ghost,
Yeah,
like they in the Dead Man Tell's original
in the
script.
script, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that'd
yeah.
be cool as well. But yeah, I would love him to come back. He's an awesome guy.
Right.
Very, very underrated. I think. Like,
Mhm.
I think when the movies first came out, obviously I was too young to really kind of be in the fandom at that point in time. But I feel like a lot of people probably didn't like him because he was kind of like a bad guy at the beginning. But I think appreciation for him has kind of grown over time,
Oh,
um, which I think is really awesome.
and the fact that you see the small transformation throughout that one film
Hmm.
of, being so uptight to, okay, I see what Will's about. Okay, there's some good men out there.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And I love his sacrifice in At World's End is probably one of my favorite Pirates of the
Yeah,
Caribbean scenes.
yeah, one that actually uh, really shocked me when I first watched it. I was like, no, come on, you just brought him back,
Hmm.
and now you're gonna. Oh, yeah, I was hoping he was gonna like just go back to being a pirate with them,
Hmm.
but no, no, yeah, he dies
But I think it's a
using the
great kind of
sword that was made for him.
yes, yeah. I think it's a good resolution to his arc though. It kind of like
Mhm.
throws off the chains of like of Beckett and the East India Trading Company and kind of like sacrifices himself for Elizabeth, which I think is
Yeah,
nice.
most definitely.
But have you impersonated like any other Pirates of the Caribbean characters? Like I know you've done a bunch of different versions of Jack, but any other Pirates characters that you've done?
Um, Last year I did start working on a Barbosa costume, but yeah, I mean, I do like doing different voices. I
Mm-hmm.
don't dress up as many other characters, but there's a few. Uh, I'll sometimes do like Pintel and Rigetti, like we know you're in puppet, puppet, come out, we won't hurt you. And then look, it's a spin image of Bootstrap Bill come back to haunt us. Yeah, those two, and then there's only one of Will Turner that I ever do, and it's usually if my uh, girlfriend's doing something, and I'll just be like, um, "That's not good enough."
One of the best lines.
Yeah, that's my only Will Turner because he's too soft spoken. Even
Mm-hmm.
like I think there was this video that I was watching. He whisper yells, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I can see that.
And it's like dang, that's hard to get down. But and then you best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner. You're in one. That's the only Barbosa I really do. I'm trying to do him, but oh man, getting that laugh, that's hard too.
Mm-hmm.
So uh any others that I do. Um no, sometimes Blackbeard. Let me see if I can remember any. If I don't kill a man every now and again, they forget who I am. That was bad, but yes. Or there I were, resting. I like to say that a lot when I wake up. um, Trying to think of any others. Snap me twice and hand me to me, mama. It's Jack. Yeah, I like Gibbs too. Uh Dang. Um, I can't think of any. You got any that maybe I can
um,
try?
trying to think. I think you got like most of like the main like iconic kind of voices.
Well, those are the only ones I really do. So
Yeah.
other than Jack, but but yeah. Other than that, I've done I've started a Barbosa costume and um actually no. When I was younger, I did do a Will Turner, and I do want to do uh Will Turner his outfit from at the end of Curse of Black Pearl with the hat and then the red cape, the
Yeah.
musketeer look.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I want to do that one.
That'd be cool. I guess we'll transfer into some more kind of like general like Pirates of the Caribbean questions now.
Just straight
So
away,
I
hit
guess we'll
for it.
start. what is your favorite Pirates of the Caribbean movie?
So if you had if you had asked me that back in 2007, 2008, I would have said At World's End. But now, no, it's got to be Curse of Black Pearl. It's just a standalone film. Uh, it's perfect. Uh, it's got everything in it. Like I said, it's the quintessential pirate movie. It's also like a good adventure film. Some of the best lines in it, and the great characters. I don't know. It's like a perfect film to me. Um, but then the others improve upon it. So yeah, but I think without that first film, we wouldn't even have the others. I know that's like a cop out. Most You could say that about any franchise, but like for it and for like the time that it came out in
Yeah.
2003, um, especially being a kid at that time, like there wasn't any other pirate stuff out there. There's Cutthroat Island, which came out a couple of years ago,
Mm.
but well, I kind of like the film just because it has pirates.
I do as
But
well.
yeah, it's not like in comparison, it's not like that good of a film.
Yeah.
It's a slow burn, um, and then you can't really understand most of the characters and their motivations. It's like, okay, why'd you do that? Okay, just because you're pirates. All right, okay, but like, yeah, the Curse of Black Pearl is very well written, and they didn't even think it was going to be that good of a film.
Mhm.
And what a lot of people, yeah, it's like lightning in a bottle. They found it with that first film, so yeah, it would have to be that. But what's your favorite? And then what's your ranking? Uh, 1 through 5, one being the best, five being like the worst.
So my favorite, I think my favorite has always been At World's End. I think my appreciation
Mhm.
for it grew a lot more in the last like 10 years, but yeah, At World's End is definitely my favorite. I just love how I guess it's more like a character focused movie because there's not as many action sequences in At World's End compared to the other
Mhm.
movies, which I feel like is why a lot of people don't like it. But that is why it's my personal favorite movie. I think it has so many good like character scenes with their motivations being expressed really well, and like how everything comes together and how you can kind of see the resolution of everyone's arcs happening in that
Oh,
movie, and that's why Our World's End's my favorite. And also the Maelstrom is uh,
oh, so
like
iconic.
amazing.
That's like peak cinema right
Yeah.
there. Oh, did you see these film? I know you were like really young.
Hmm.
Did you see these in theaters?
I don't know. I don't think I saw Dead Man's Chest and At World's End in theaters. I obviously
Ooh.
saw On Street of Tides and Dead Men Tell No Tales in theaters, but I don't know if I did. I might have been too young to see them in theaters, but I might have just seen them
Have
on.
you have you seen them as they've been re-releasing them in theaters?
Yeah, I did see Curse of the Black Pearl in theaters back in 2023, and that was really cool.
Right. Yeah, that
Um,
was cool.
I'm hoping Disney does something this year for Dead Man's Chest, but only time will
No, oh,
tell.
they better, they better, and then next year for At World's End, they
Yeah.
better as well. I hope you do see them in theaters because um, that it's all right. So I did see the first one in theaters,
Mm.
but I was like, uh, I think 10 or 11 at the time. So it was just as a kid, it was fun. And then I saw Dead Man's Chest in theaters. I think I was 13 then at the time when it came out. And as a teenager, I was like, what? Like, that was like a cinematic experience. Like, being in the theater, and when Johnny Depp dies, all the women in the theater scream and they're crying, like literal tears. They're like, no, Johnny! And that was, I'm like, well, and then the very end when
Mm.
Barbosa, what a cliffhanger. Like you don't hear or see it. I mean, unless if you're paying attention, which you'd have to on the second or third viewing. But
Mm.
like seeing Barbosa there, and so what's become of my ship? Oh my goodness, that was in theaters. So it's like what? And then credits roll, and you're like, that's how it ends. Oh my goodness. And then yes, at World's End, that was the first film I watched dressed as Jack Sparrow
Mm.
because Dead Man's Chest like really got me into it, and I had like gotten better at making my costume within that year, and I went with a bunch of my buddies from high school, and uh, the one guy next to me, he's like, I can't watch this with you. It's freaking me out because I was like eating the popcorn like Jack, and like, no, no matter where I turn, there's Jack Sparrow. I don't like this. But and then my one of my favorite experiences, because I did see on Stranger Tides dressed up as Jack Sparrow when the camera zooms into Jack and Gibbs in the carriage, and
Mm.
they're like side by side, and then they're talking about, and Jack says, "There's another imposter out there selling my good name." Almost everyone in the theater turned back and looked at me when that happened because they all had seen me because this was like when theaters would do the midnight showings
Mm.
for the release of the film. They did that for On Stranger Tides, and I had like got my tickets in advance and everything, and I was out there, and everyone was lined up, and I was just like, uh, me and my friends were all sword fighting and stuff. I had another friend who was dressed up kind of like Angelica for the film, and people were taking pictures of us and everything. So like we were trying to like entertain the crowd because we were all like, I was in theater during high school, so a bunch of theater kids like messing around got into some trouble. But yeah, so when that scene happened, almost I kid you not, almost everyone just turns around and stares at me, and they're like, "You're in this film too?"
That's so funny.
Yeah, and then yeah, I did see it. Saw Denman Tell No Tales in theaters as well, dressed as Jack, and uh, yeah, it was like not as many people because during that time there wasn't as many people going to the theaters, but there was a couple that like really liked it, and they took pictures with me, and then the staff at the movie theater had me stand next to their thing, and we're taking pictures to help promote it. So it was a good time. But yeah, if they do release uh, the films in theaters again, you need to go watch them in theaters. Total different experience,
Yeah.
especially with the surround sound. I think with On Stranger Tides too, they did it in a 4D theater, so
Mm.
you're watching it in 3D, but the seats are like swaying back and forth, like you're on the ship, and
Mm.
then you get sprayed with water whenever there's water being sprayed, and yeah, that was a cool experience.
That'd be cool. Yeah, it's one of my goals to hopefully someday see Dead Man's Chest and At World's End in theaters. So hopefully it'll
Yeah,
happen at some point. We'll see.
you got to.
But I guess second place behind At World's End, it's kind of hard because Curse of Black Pearl and Dead Man's Chest are very, very. I guess all three of the original trilogy are very like
Mhm.
interchangeable for me because they're all so good. If I had to rank them though, I think Curse of the Black Pearl is number two, just
Mm.
because it's the original. It's just a
Yeah.
classic. It's just
Okay.
perfect, perfect movie. And then like I wouldn't say Dead Man's Chest is worse than Curse of Black Pearl. I think I just kind of prefer Curse of Black Pearl a bit more if I'm ranking them. But Dead Man's Chest number three.
Yeah.
But it's also a perfect movie. No disrespect to Dead Man's Chest. But all three of those kind of interchange. Like when I'll watch one of them and that'll kind of move up to be my favorite at that current moment. It's kind of just
Oh
how I'm
yeah.
feeling that day is my ranking of those first three.
I understand. Yeah. Yeah. I feel that.
But I guess after that, I actually do enjoy Dead Men Tell No Tales a lot. I know a lot of people don't
Ooh.
enjoy it, so that's on it. That's my number four is Dead Men Tell No Tales, mainly because I like well, Will is in it for like two scenes, but I like how
Yeah,
it kind of focuses on Henry and him trying to free Will and everything like that. I like Karina as well. I know a lot of people don't like her, but I personally like her. Um, I like the whole plot line of her being Barbossa's daughter and everything. I think that's super cool. And obviously there are plot holes, many plot holes in that movie, but I do think it's a still a good movie. I love all the five Pirates movies, regardless of
oh
quality.
yeah.
And then last place, not saying it's the worst or anything, but last place is on Shooter Tides, just because I don't really I don't really know why. I think it's because the lack of the Turner family in that I think might be why I
That
don't.
yeah, that
But
does put a big, yeah,
yeah,
shadow on it. Yeah.
but I think my appreciation for On Street of Tides has definitely grown in like the last decade. I think when it first came out, I wasn't really the biggest fan of it because I'm like, where's Will? Where's Elizabeth? I was only 9 years old when On Street of Tides came out. Um, but I think my appreciation has definitely grown for it a lot. There's a lot of good scenes in there. There's so many like great like lines of dialogue from Jack and Blackbeard and
Mhm.
Barbossa. I love Barbossa in that movie. Um, I remember back when I was a kid, I was so confused as to why Barbossa was no longer a pirate. Because I'm
Oh
like, like,
yeah.
like I can't believe they would do this to Barbossa. But obviously, it becomes clear why he's doing that at the end of the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
But back when I was a kid, I was so shocked. I'm like, Barbossa's not a pirate anymore. What do you mean? But yeah, that's my personal ranking. So At World's End, Curse of Black Pearl, Dead Man's Chest, Dead Men Tell No Tales, and then On Street of Tides.
Wow, ours are so vastly different. That's crazy. I mean, it's good because yeah, I think there's something that someone can find and love in each film. Um, but yeah, mine would have to be in release order, but sometimes it switches. So it would be Curse of Black Pearl is one, Dead Man's Chest is two, Our World's End is three, On Stranger Tides is four, and then Dead Men Tell No Tales. Uh, and you know, I sometimes I could switch four and five,
Mm-hmm.
but there's so many egregious things that it does
Mm-hmm.
do, especially with breaking a lot of the canon. So like, do you know how like the canonicity of things are in
Yeah.
media?
Mm-hmm.
Like how, so I think they say if it starts off as a film, the films are a canon,
Mm-hmm.
and then the books that follow, if there's nothing to disrupt what goes, if they're like straight up adaptations, then they're uh, along with a canon. But if it takes, you know, a deviation from any of the main stories, it goes to B canon. And
Mm-hmm.
then merchandising, I think, goes into C canon because they can make up weird stuff and still sell it. But yeah, because of what they do in Dead Men Tell No Tales, all the young Jack Sparrow books now
Yeah.
become B canon. They're
Yeah.
not considered part of the A canon anymore. And maybe The Price of Freedom.
I feel it's kind
That
of
might be,
dubious with that one, but
maybe,
yeah.
yeah. I think I'd have to reread it, but yeah. But yeah, because of that, it like takes out a whole lot of stuff
Mm,
that goes along with the films, and it's like, oh, why would they do that?
yeah.
It's yeah,
I
that's my
personally,
big.
my personal like way of looking at that whole kind of like flashback scene, I'm kind of like that's like Salazar's like depiction of events. Like I like that's kind of like his
Oh,
depiction of events,
oh
and not
yeah,
like the canon actual timeline. That's kind of like how I look at it to
sure.
kind of be like, oh, so everything else can still be canon, and Salazar can have his own kind of like, hey, this is what happened to me. Um,
Yeah,
that's kind of how I look at it, just to make it
I'm
make
surprised
sense.
there was no one to like uh to kind of like be like, oh no, this is breaking continuity with the other films.
Mm.
I'm surprised they didn't have anyone doing that for that.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, if it's just Salazar's, though, even even if that were true, how would he know of Jack's? Because they kind of zoom in on it in
Mm.
that scene, Jack's piece of eight, which he doesn't even get until on Stranger Tides.
Yeah.
That the what we call the zombie finger,
Mm.
like they zoom in on that. It's like even if it's Salazar's retelling, he wouldn't know about that because he was
Yeah.
trapped in the Devil's Triangle. So it's like that still doesn't like make sense. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a better explanation,
Mm.
especially because Jack uh he only sailed the Wicked Wench as captain,
Mm.
according
Yeah.
to if we're going off of the Price of Freedom. He never was under anyone while sailing it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But yeah, because of I mean I really like the scene. I
Yeah, it
like
is a cool
visually.
scene. It just
It's
makes
a cool
has so
scene.
many issues that it
Yeah, it's
puts in
because
there.
that is something Jack Sparrow would do.
Mm.
So, but yeah, no, that and the whole um having uh Will Turner back. I understand having him back,
Mm.
but if we're going off of what Ted Elliott and Terry Russo had written, they even said in an interview that after the 10 years that Will Turner had served and he returned to shore and he saw the end credit scene,
Yeah.
after he returned and Elizabeth is waiting for him, then that broke the curse and he's no longer bound to the Dutchman.
Yeah, I remember reading that. Yeah.
So he shouldn't still be captain of the Dutchman for five.
Mm.
If but that's why they didn't go with was it Terry Russio's script?
Yeah.
They went with Jeff Nathanson, who also broke Indiana Jones 4. So let's not that trustworthy of a writer. But yeah, and they even went to go say that Jeff Nathanson like really didn't even care about the continuity. He just wanted to write a fun adventure. And it's like, but you messed it up.
Yeah.
So, uh, yeah, that's my gripe with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can agree with you. Outworld's End is definitely up there. Fantastic film. And then I just like On Stranger Tides for many different reasons. And people, I don't know, like I hear people saying Jack Sparrow's not Jack Sparrow and On Stranger Tides. I'm like, what are you talking about? I feel like he's the most Jack Sparrow
Yeah.
in that film compared to Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Hmm.
He has like really great lines.
Yeah.
And he actually has like some really good serious moments as well, which we completely lose. I think there's only one serious moment in Dead Men Tell No Tales, and that's when he's looking at the pearl in
Yeah.
the bottle, and that's probably about it. Yeah, it's crazy,
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. On Stranger Tides, it is definitely it's grown. My appreciation for it's grown a lot. I love it a lot now. But yeah, there's so many like great moments in that, and so many like memorable lines of dialogue. Like I find myself kind of just like lines from that movie are always kind of going through my
Oh yeah.
head.
Well, I mean, Dead Men Tell No Tales it is funny. It has a lot of good funny lines. I think
Mm.
those two movies I'll just put on as background noise while I'm
Mm.
like cleaning or something, and because I'm not like so invested in watching it,
Mm.
but I can like look back and be like, oh yeah, ha ha ha. So yeah, those are the background movies, I'd say. Can
So I guess then, what is, if you can pick, what is your favorite scene from the Pirates franchise?
I pick two?
Yep, that works.
Okay. um, Obviously, Jack's introduction. That's like cinema history right there.
Hmm.
You can know all about the character in just that small amount of time. what is it, like 20 seconds or something? Not 20
Yeah.
seconds. Uh, somewhere like under a minute
Yeah,
though.
like
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 that
45
whole
seconds probably.
yeah, like that whole scene, you learn everything about who the character is, um, what his motivations are, and what he's about just in that small amount of time without saying anything is incredible. And I feel like
Mhm.
that's kind of what we were missing in Dead Men Tell No Tales. They broke the cardinal rule of cinema, show don't tell.
Mhm.
Everyone's telling their motivations in Dead Men Tell No Tales. Henry Turner, he's like, I know all the myths and legends of the sea. It's like, okay, but we haven't really seen you do anything with that,
Mhm.
or and then Karina, even though she's probably one of my favorite characters, her and Barbosa are my favorite in that film. But like she's going on just dialogue about her motivations and finding her father, but like there's nothing they're actively doing to show that that's what they want. So I think that's what that film misses and what the first one did so perfectly. And then I think my second favorite scene, oh man, I had this earlier. Oh dang, maybe I'm changing it now. Oh no. Oh. No, I'm just gonna keep it with the one because now I can't decide. Yeah, so that'd probably be my most favorite. Oh, okay. Second one after that would probably be for action would be the blacksmith scene
Mhm.
in the blacksmith shop. Uh, that fight very well choreographed. The dialogue in between, a lot of characterization for the two, uh, and it's what propels the story after that. I feel uh, their first time meeting. I think that's one of my favorite scenes to like. If I just want to watch any scene besides that first one, I'll
Mhm.
go to that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good one. It's one of my favorites too. I think if
Mhm.
I had to pick my favorite, I'm a big Will and Elizabeth fan, so I think my favorite has to be like their wedding sequence in the Maelstrom.
Oh, and that little bit of music, when they twirl and the
Hmm.
music twirls, it sounds
Yes,
like it's twirling. That gets me all the time. Like woohoo!
so good.
I know. Ah, yeah. No, I do love their wedding scene. That's and how many characters, how many movies can you watch where one of your favorite, you can say your favorite scene is the wedding scene?
Yeah,
Like that's for them to do that. That's yeah, they pulled that off really well.
yeah. I feel like it could have been very corny if they did it
Oh
like a
yeah,
certain way, but like they pull it off to like it is like one of the best scenes, which is kind of just a testament to like everyone who was involved in putting that scene together.
especially since in the very first film they established there's a bit of silliness to this world,
Hmm.
so it just like by the third film you just accept it all.
Yeah,
You're like, yep, okay, that's how it would happen.
yeah, and especially with Barbosa involved too, like that
Oh,
that just makes
the
it
back
so
and
good.
forth.
Yeah,
Oh
and then
yeah.
when he stabs under the legs too, I love that part.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that's a great scene. Yeah, I agree.
So I guess we'll move kind of to from the films to kind of like other kinds of pirates media, like the books specifically. So have you read like the Young Jack Sparrow series? I guess you mentioned the
Yep,
Price of Freedom,
yep,
everything
yeah.
already, but
Which I got some things to show you here that I pulled, since we're talking about it. Yeah, I did read all the Young Jack Sparrow books. There's a lot of them. What is it, 13 total?
yeah, 13. Yep.
12 from the main adventure, and then the
The Bootstrap
Bill
Bill book.
Turner.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, those are downstairs on my shelf, but I did have to pull one of them because I know you're talking about it. But yeah, the physical copy
Oh,
of The Price of Freedom,
that's
which
awesome.
I got this at Barnes and Noble. right down the street when it first came out, and only cost $20.
Wow.
I mean, at that time, 20
Yeah.
bucks was like $60.
Yeah.
But yeah, but now you try and buy this, it's $300 to $700.
Yeah.
And the so I'd say this is probably like my most treasured book that I have. Also, because it's a, a first edition, so it's got the number sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and
That's
that's
very cool.
yeah. But if you do get your hands on it, and I hope you do, uh, I'll also like look at used bookstores or wherever I can find it for you, and I'll if I find one, I'll send it to you.
Thank
There
you.
are I do know there's three editions.
Mm.
There's this one. There's an exclusive one which has Jack Sparrow on the cover.
Yeah. Yeah, I've
I
seen
think
that.
they only done I like maybe 100 prints of that one, and so those are very rare to find. And then there's the paperback ones,
Yeah.
uh, which have a completely different cover on it too. I
Yeah,
think
is that
it's
the red one, right?
yeah, the red one,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, I read that too, and that's a great book. And then I had a question for you because of those books.
Hmm.
Did you ever read any of the novelizations of the films?
So I haven't read them all. I read the At World's End one and the On Stranger Tides one back when they first came out.
Okay.
I didn't read the ones for the other movies. I should at some point once I get my hands on them. But it's funny the At World's End one that I have I think came out before the movie released because the book ends right after Elizabeth's Hoist the Colors speech. It doesn't have
Hmm.
any of the rest of the movie, which
That's
is pretty
because
interesting.
they did two prints.
Yeah,
So
there was one that came out later with the rest of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But when
yeah.
I was a kid, I'm like, why is it cutting off the rest of the movie?
Right, right. I think that's only with At World's End and On Stranger Tides. I think they put the whole films for Curse of Black Pearl and Dead Man's Chest. But so I got this one, which actually came out before the film did.
Hmm.
So this one goes more in line with the original script of Curse of the Black Pearl.
Oh,
And here,
interesting.
I'll just read you so you can like see the vast differences. This is like the last line. Jack lovingly ran his hand along the rail, then took the wheel of the ship, his ship. He opened his compass and set his course. Satisfied with himself, he looked out to sea and began to sing himself a tune. Yo ho, a pirate's life for me. So that's how that one ends. And then, so I just grabbed this one because it has
Hmm.
all three of the movie versions of um, Curse, Dead, and At World's End in it.
Hmm.
Um, and then here, come on. All right. And so then this is the end of Curse of the Black Pearl. Out at sea, Captain Jack Sparrow stood behind the wheel of the Black Pearl. On his head was the familiar tricorned hat, and in his hand he held his compass. As he looked out to sea and felt the black pearls wood beneath his fingers, Jack smiled. Now bring me that horizon, he said. And setting a new course, Captain Jack Sparrow sailed his ship across the turquoise waves of the Caribbean. Like they're completely different.
Yeah.
Even all right, so in this one,
Hmm.
the way that the curse is lifted is also kind of different. Barbosa actually has a sword up to Elizabeth's neck, and he's
Oh,
about to
wow.
cut her throat. But then Jack shoots him, and then he's like,
Hmm.
"Oh, you wasted your shot." And then Will is standing over the chest, like in the films, like he didn't waste it, and then drop the coins. But it's like completely different
So
than how it's
interesting. Yeah.
depicted. So
I didn't
if
know
you can
that.
grab your hands on one of these ones,
Yeah, I'll have to keep an eye out for that one.
and then another novelization, which is different than the movie, but it's also like almost exactly the same, is the Dead Men Tell No Tales ones. And yeah, you should read this. It makes the film a whole lot better. I mean, you already like it,
Hmm.
but this will make it better. I This is like more so off of the script when Terry Rossio was working with Jeff Nathanson before he stopped working. So they used this for the novelization. And there's like three things in here I want to share with you,
Mm,
which completely, well, not completely, but it kind of changes how you see the film a little.
mm-hmm.
Um, one of them is an Easter egg. So I'll ask you, in Dead Men Tell No Tales, did you see any ride references?
Yeah, well, technically, the Wicked Wench is sort of like a ride reference, but it's kind of been worked into the lore. But
Right.
that's kind of the one that comes to mind.
Yeah, there's that one. Did you spot any others?
Nothing's coming to mind right now. Once you say it, I'll probably remember it. But
Yeah. Okay. So the other one that's actually in the film is Pig Kelly.
mm,
He is dressed exactly, besides the hat, like Ned Lowe, one of the paintings in the queue of
oh
at
yeah,
Disneyland,
yeah.
with the black shirt, the pearls, and then the big coat.
Mm,
So that's a small like little ride reference. And
interesting.
then
Yeah, I
the
never put
third
that together.
one, they had a third one, but it didn't make it to the film, but it is in the novelization. And I'll read that real quick to you because then it makes the flow of the movie a bit different. So after they the cartographer's shop, they leave,
Mm,
and then Jack's um where is it? The were you part of the plan?
mm,
So that's where it starts. Were you part of the plan? He asked out of the corner of his mouth as the soldiers appeared and began to search for them. So that's actually a little later, but that's the scene where it takes place.
mm,
This is okay. So this is where it starts. Unfortunately, he pulled her onto the street and right into view of the royal guards and Lieutenant Scarfield's men, who had him up until the point thought that they lost Karina, their prey. They combined forces in chasing them both. While she wasn't sure the pirate could be trusted, after all, she knew enough of the world to know most pirates couldn't. She didn't trust Scarfield's men to let her go. So the pirate took off running as she followed. They raced down the street, turning corners where they could, spotting a store with headless mannequins on display. The pirate grabbed Karina's hand and led her behind the mannequins. Then he stopped and posed so that he looked like the head of the mannequin. Karina did the same. And then that's where it starts. Were you part of the plan? So
mm.
it's like the scene in the Disney ride where Jack's behind the mannequins and he's
Yeah,
posing. And that was a small ride reference that they
that's
had.
neat. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'll have
And
to get that at some
then
point.
uh, okay, and then this is something that was in the script, and it's kind of in the movie, but it's so small, and because it's not referenced at all, you wouldn't notice it. So I'll ask you: does Jack Sparrow use his sword?
In Dead Man Tell No
Dead Men
Tales,
Tell No Tales,
he only, I think, only time is when he's fighting Salazar on the Silent Mary, right?
and that's not his sword.
Yeah.
That's Henry's sword.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because Henry's cutting him free,
Mm-hmm.
and so he uses Henry's sword, and then whose sword does he drop to give to Barbosa?
It's Henry.
Again, again Henry's. He
Yeah.
doesn't use his sword
Mm-hmm.
at all in the film. He's and where you think he'd use his sword, he's actually using his pistol.
Yeah.
And there is a reason to that, and it's in the script, but they never say it in the film.
Mm-hmm.
And this goes along with the original script that Terry Rossio wrote about
Mm-hmm.
a cursed sword. So here, I'll read it. The bad luck dogs you day and night. Bad luck, ridiculous. And then one of the crewmen say, "We know you fear your own sword." Another of the pirates went on, and that you believe it's cursed with intention to slit your throat. In unison, the crew members turned and looked pointedly at their captain's sword. It lay across from them on the deck. Jack shook his head. Afraid? And then has ever more and then wait, sorry, I'm losing my okay. Afraid, Has ever a more absurd word been spoken? And then, blah, 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 blah. Yep. Then pick up your blade and hold it. Jack looked at the sword and then at his men, then back at his sword. He began to reach out for it and then hesitated. Then, in one swift move, he rushed over, picked it up, and hurled it overboard, acting as though that was the most natural thing to do with one's weapon. He then turned back to his crew. Problem solved.
That's so interesting. Yeah, how they worked in the
Yeah,
cursed sword from the script. That's so cool, actually. I
and
did not know
then
that.
and then it comes back later, and it says Jack Sparrow's luck, however, had not. After his crew had abandoned him, he tried to prove, at least to himself, that he was not unlucky. He had failed miserably. First, he had tried to rob a coach out on the skirts of town, only to have it drive right by him. And that's that deleted scene.
Mm.
Yeah. And then it had begun to rain. When he had finally made it back into town and wandered into a local watering hole looking for beverage to quench his thirst, the barkeep had asked him to show him his silver, of which he had none. The only thing in his pockets, it turned out, was his compass. Well, do you want the drink or not? The barkeep asked, watching Jack. Jack looked down at his compass in his hand, torn between his thirst and his prized possession. Before he could make a decision, a fisherman wandered in and plopped his catch down on the bar right next to Jack. Sticking out of the net was Jack's sword. Would ya look at that? The fisherman said, unaware of what his haul meant to the pirate next to him. A fish stabbed itself with this here sword. I'll sell it to the Navy. How's that for luck? With a shout, Jack reached and grabbed the sword. He flung it across the bar. It hit a wanted poster hanging on the far wall with an audible twang. The point was firmly embedded right between the eyes of one Captain Jack Sparrow.
Wow, that is. I did not know that. That's so cool.
Yeah. So the cursed sword idea was like in the film, but it was never mentioned, which is crazy because
Hmm.
I feel like that I actually really like that idea.
Yeah, yeah, that would have been really cool to see in the movie. But I'll have to hunt that book down and get a copy of it with the rest of
Yeah,
them as
and
well. But yeah,
they
that's.
they they explain more in that book that Jack is acting the way he is because he's
Hmm.
been cursed with unluckiness. He no longer has his luck, and
Hmm.
that's why he can't do anything correctly. I think that's a better. It's written better than it's executed in the
Yeah.
film. But yeah, the whole book is more centered around people's luck and their curses,
Hmm.
especially with Henry Turner and stuff, and his dad having the curse. The novelization is way better than the actual movie because of
Hmm.
some of that stuff. But
Yeah.
it's a shame because when I was reading it, I'm like, oh, this film's gonna be awesome. And then that's yeah, I think also the dream sequence or not dream sequence, but when Henry is going over and Jack's sleeping, and then he spaghetti wolves.
Hmm.
That was a stupid line. In the book, he talks about a whale that he saw,
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
which also turns out later in the deleted scene
Yeah,
where
the
the
whale
whale
on
passes by.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's very cool. Yeah, I'll have to get that and read it through it.
and
That's really
then
really cool.
there's one last book. You don't have to read it, but the art of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes, I do have that.
Yeah,
It's
that's one of my favorites
yeah,
as well.
it's so good. There's so much like good art in that book.
Oh yeah, the Crash McCreary drawings are so awesome. Yeah, and it has like that's another version of Jack I did is the Disney Jack.
Mm.
So like I think it's in this book.
Oh, like the original concept art.
The original concept I think the one where they actually use Johnny Depp's face,
Mm.
which that version actually is in the Curse of the Black Pearl DS video game.
Yeah, yeah,
So you know how he has the blue bandana.
yeah.
So that was like the original concept that they were going for Jack,
Mm,
that Disney was thinking, and it's also in that's how they drew Jack for all the like storyboards, and then obviously by Dead Men Tell No Tales they just drew Jack Sparrow how he actually is, but in
mm,
Curse of Black Pearl that's how Jack was drawn. And yeah, I was like, oh, that it's very simple in Disney, but it's also kind of, I kind of like it, so I did
yeah,
do a cosplay of that version too, just so
that's
I can
cool.
get all the Jack in. Yeah.
So I guess then, what is do you like the Young Jack Sparrow series? Because you mentioned you read them. What is your
Oh,
opinion on that?
um yeah, I like I really do love them. I wish, I think you talked about this in your very last one, where they should have done like a Disney Plus animated series. I think that would
Mm,
have been the best way to go about doing it. That
yeah.
way you don't have to worry about casting someone that looks like a young Johnny Depp. Um, and you just get a good cast of voice actors
Mm,
and do an animated series, because yeah, they're really fun. I they are, I mean, they are kids books, so they're very childish. But yeah, I think they're fun.
mm,
Um, I think maybe they're. I think for that series, it's fine. It's the Brethren Court series. I'm a little iffy with, because they are adults at this time, and it's like, but they're still acting like they're kids.
yeah, that's kind of my issue with it as well.
Yeah, because I'm like, I get it for the children's books because they are younger and they're a bit, it's overly fantastical. But then yeah, I think, and I think that's why I do like Curse of Black Pearl so much, because it's, out of the five films, it's the most grounded film. There's only like one supernatural aspect to it.
Hmm.
And so it feels like a real, I mean, yeah, it's based on the Caribbean and a certain time period. So yeah, there's a lot more stuff in it that's real than the others. And I get it. They were just kind of using it, to just introduce some supernatural stuff. But I think when in the book series, when they overdo it, it's just too much for me at times. I'm like, okay, that's a bit too silly.
Hmm.
That shouldn't be happening. But it's still fun. I still
Yeah,
like reading it. Yeah.
yeah. I love the Young Jack Sparrow books a lot. I didn't actually read. I think I read the second one like back in the day when it first came out. 'Cause I had the second and third one like my whole life,
Mhm.
but I didn't read the full series until I think 2024, like right before I started covering them for the podcast. But I was surprised at how much they grew on me over time, especially like once I got closer to the end of the series.
Right. I don't think I actually started reading them till 2011, after On Stranger Tides came out, because I
Mm,
was like, yeah, more pirates. And um, just back then, pirate stuff was easier to find out in the
yeah.
wild than it is now. So, because they, oh, and like at the time, 2006 and 2007, it was hard not walking into a store and finding something Pirates of the Caribbean related. Like
Hmm.
the towels, I saw a lot. The the little Zizzle figures were
Yep.
everywhere. Like no matter what store, they, like, you would just find them like somewhere, and it's like on clearance for $2. But
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, those were really good children's books. I did like them.
That's awesome. And I guess we'll move over then to the ride at the Disney parks. You mentioned obviously you've been on the ride. Um,
Hmm.
what is what I guess what is your favorite part of the attraction?
um, uh, well, I think for everyone, one, it might be the smell,
Hmm.
the bromine
Yep.
in the water. Just I have two like oils. Um, one is like a rum scented one, and then the other one is like the waters of the Caribbean. And
Hmm.
like when you combine them together, it just smells like the ride. So I like to wear them when I'm dressed as Jack.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, I think the smell alone brings brings me in. And then, uh, just everything that's pirates. Ugh, tooth. Everything that's pirates. Yeah. I do have like two like little like scenes that I like. One is the pirate that has one foot on the boat and one on the dock, and he's balancing all the hats and the chests,
Hmm.
and you don't know if he's gonna fall in or not. That's one of my favorites. And then another one, whenever I see it, I just think Pirates of the Caribbean ride. It's the skeleton with the sword that's pinning him to the wall, and then he has the big hat, and then the seagull is in it.
Hmm.
I yeah, I wish they had incorporated that into the films.
Yeah, that would have been cool. 'Cause they
Yeah,
had kind of in Curse of Black Pearl, they have the one, the skeleton Eel de Muerto with
yeah,
the sword in his back. But yeah, it would have been cool
yeah,
if they
on
had
the
the
tank,
other
yeah,
guy in there as well. That would be cool.
yeah, especially yeah, because I think that's what they were going for with all the caves is
Hmm.
like, oh, that's where all the skeletons were. Yeah. But yeah, so when I first wrote on it, it was in I think 97. So they didn't do any of the movie stuff yet.
Hmm.
And I think it had only been refurbished what three times before that.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
they only changed small things. Uh, I don't know what he's called anymore, but at the time I think they called him like the gluttonous pirate, the one
Yeah.
next to the barrel, and
Hmm.
I think now he's like has a map. And then at the time when I went, he had a turkey leg,
Hmm.
and then there was a cat that would pop up and down trying to get it, and then the I think that's when they switched it to where um because the pirates used to chase the women.
Hmm.
And when I went, I think they were holding like trays of food to make it seem like, oh, the pirates are chasing them for the food.
Hmm.
And then I think, yeah, and, after that, when they refurbished it in 2006, they switched them so that the women were chasing the pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think, yeah, I saw that version where those were like the only two changes in the ride. So it was pretty much the original ride for most of it. And yeah, I think it's because of that VHS that I had as a kid. There
Hmm.
was one pirate that always creeped me out. I don't know why, but he was like the middle guy in the three-man band, you know, the one who sings.
Hmm.
And then the other guy has a lute and the other one has a concertina. But the guy that would sing, I don't know why whenever I saw him he would freak me out. I'd be so scared. I'm like, I don't like that guy.
That's funny.
So yeah, I think that ride um, is probably like one of the more adult rides for adults in the Disney parks. I mean, they probably have more stuff now, but
Hmm.
back then, that was like uh, you'd see a lot more like parents want to go on that ride because they're like, oh, okay, there's some adult stuff here. Yeah. And I think as I got older, I appreciated that even Disney was like, okay, we know you parents are here. Let's give you a little something.
Hmm.
And I'm glad they did it with Pirates because, yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I do like the new stuff in it too. You know, with Red and everything. I remember at the time I was really mad.
Hmm.
Uh, because yeah, it's like why would you change such an iconic scene? But I get it, you know, trying to go, you know, with how the times are changing and stuff. There's a little bit of me where I'm like, hey, you should keep it so that you know the kids can learn. Yeah, this is why pirates are bad
Hmm.
because they are doing all this bad stuff.
Yeah.
but you know the, it's still a fun scene how they have it now. So,
Mm,
and plus, that's the only other pirate that we get in the parks is Red now.
yeah,
So, if it's gonna bring more um, characters out and about, I'm all for it.
yeah, yeah. I was the same way. I was pretty against the change, like when they first announced it back in, I think it was 2018. I think is when they announced it.
Yeah,
Um,
because they just did the fifth film, and I think it went down in July in 2017, and then they reopened in 2018.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah, I was pretty against it back then, but like it definitely grew on me over time. And now like I love Red. I think she's a great addition to the character. I think it's like a cool kind of whether you kind of like think about oh the redhead became a pirate or if it's a different character. But yeah, I think she's cool and I love the new scene. It's definitely grown on me.
I I don't know. You just brought up something that made me like think, because like if she was the redhead that became the pirate,
Hmm.
and I know I don't know. Do you think, I know Scarlet is based off of Red in the ride, but
Hmm.
do you think like they're the same character or they're different characters?
Um, I think I think they're I would say they're different just because I feel like Scarlet is
Okay.
a bit different from the redhead character. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I would say she's technically a different character. Would I like to see them bring her back as a pirate? That would be cool, but I don't think they would happen.
No,
Um,
I think and yeah, because I know like there was like rumors back in like the early 2020s where they might have Carrie Gillian, or what's her name? Is that her name?
oh, Karen
Karen.
Gillan.
Yeah, Karen
Yeah.
Gillan, be Red. And then they said Margot Robbie's going to be in it. She was going to have her own film, and then that got shut down. And then now they're saying she might be back for this film, but just for this film, not the other one.
Mm.
So I don't know, but I mean, if they did something with Red for the new film, I wouldn't be against it.
Yeah, that's what
I,
I'm kind of hoping for.
I'd feel bad because if Scarlett was supposed to be here, I was like, oh, I'll just get the actress back. Don't
Yeah.
recast her. But if it is a different character, then I guess it would be okay.
Yeah. I guess that
Yeah.
kind of leads into like Pirate 6 rumors.
Oh.
Obviously, there was that kind of the rumor like last month or whatever that said that the movie was gonna be about Jack Sparrow's son. That was shut down by Jerry Bruckheimer. But I guess I'll open it to you first. What do you hope to see in Pirate 6 if it ever becomes a reality?
Um. Oof. So I myself have like been writing like three different pirate scripts.
Mm,
One started like a long time ago. I want to say back in 2010 after On Stranger Tides,
mm,
because I was mad about On Stranger Tides because for the stupidest reason too, because they set it up in at World's End that Jack's sword was broken. I'm like,
mm.
oh, he's gonna get a new sword in On Stranger Tides, but no, they just reforged his old one.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, but then they gave Barbossa a new sword, uh, the Sword of Triton at the end. So, but yeah, I was so excited that Jack was gonna get a new sword, so that bummed me out. So I was like, well, I'm gonna write my own on Stranger Tides. So I like completely like rewrote on Stranger Tides, and then that got me into doing two other scripts. One of them, yeah, was back in 2011, 2012, I want to say, probably closer to 2012. It's a prequel to Curse of the Black Pearl. So it borrows stuff from The Price of Freedom, but it kind of retcons everything in the Brethren Court series.
Mm.
But I mean, Dead Men Tell No Tales already did that. So, but yeah, so and that one opens with how um, what's it called? Price of Freedom kind of ends. So Cutler Beckett brands Jack a pirate, then burns down the wench. Jack goes swimming uh, after it and gets on board, and then it burns down, and he starts to drown, and then he's in between life and death. Meets Davy Jones, and then asks him to um, bring back the pearl, and he'll be captain for 13 years. So that was like the beginning of that. And then it went through many different iterations. It was going to be like, I was going to bring in, Treasure Island into it. So, like, the
Hmm.
main antagonist was going to be, what's his name? Long John Silver. And then Bill Turner was going to come into it. And he was actually served on Silver's crew, but they called him Billy Bones.
Okay.
And then he rescued Jim Hawkins. So Jim Hawkins is on the ship with them, and he's their cabin boy. And they're trying to race to get to Skeleton Island to get John Silver's treasure. So that's kind of where it was. But then I was like, oh, this is too Disney. So I like kept on going back and forth with it. And where I'm at now is where um, that opening scene is still the same. But then this one night, I had a very vivid dream, and it's what like made me rethink the whole thing. And it's Jack Barbosa and Bill Turner. They at some point in this, at least in the dream, they're at a masquerade ball, and they're like all done up with like masks and their costumes, and they're trying to blend in while Jack is sneaking off inside this mansion to grab a certain artifact. And I just remember like the music is like that they're playing is like the He's a Pirate theme, but it's all like classical and everything.
Hmm.
And then Jack uh, is interrupted by a very drunk woman, and she's trying to get at him, and he's like trying to run away from her as he's trying to find this artifact. Meanwhile, when Bill Turner's not trying to dance with all these women who want to
Hmm.
dance with him because he's so young and good looking, and in my dream, it was being portrayed by Luke Evans because every that meme where he was Bard from The Hobbit, and
Yeah.
they're like, "Hey, it's your son." uh, Yeah, so I instantly think that he would be a young Bill Turner now. Whenever I think of a young Bill Turner, I think of Luke Evans because of that dream. And so, and then Barbosa, he's he's being smothered by this very portly woman who won't leave him alone. And so, like, she's like falling in love with Barbosa, and he's like, "Get me the heck out of here!" Uh, and then Jack finds it, and when he's trying to escape, all the guards surround him at the top of the staircase. And at the top of the staircase is this big, what's it called? Stained glass window, which depicts a mermaid. And then Barbosa and Bill start fighting off the guards below. And then Jack says, "There's only one thing I want you all to do." And then he says duck, and then he ducks, and then a cannonball goes through the window. And then um, he I think by this time Barbosa and Will, or not Will, Bill Bootstrap has yeah, I'll just call him Bootstrap so I don't get confused. Him and Bootstrap have gotten to Jack, and then he grabs them both, and they jump out the window, and then they fall on a pile of hay, which is in a cart, and the cart is being driven by Pintel and Rigetti. And then they're driving, racing to get away, and then all these guards are on horses, and they're trying to follow them down to the docks. And this is all taking place in, I think it would be Martinique.
Hmm.
And just that dream was like so vivid. I'm like, oh, I gotta rewrite this story to put it in. And so yeah, it became, you know, a prequel book that I titled Beyond the Horizon. And then I noticed like now everyone's calling it that. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like I even have like some like fan artwork I did like a while ago of Beyond the Horizon, and now I see that everywhere. I'm like, they stole that from me. I should have copywritten it. Because the idea came to me because of the Young Jack Sparrow books. The
Mhm.
last one's called Bold New Horizons.
Yeah.
I'm like, that would be a nice title, but it's already been used. So I just played with the words. I'm like, yeah, Beyond the Horizon. That sounds good. But yeah, then people have been stealing that. So, but yeah, a lot of stuff in that. They're searching for El Dorado because they want this city of gold.
Mhm.
They want all the gold, and then there's like this Aztec key, which is like two stone pieces that come together, but it's also a map of where um, El Dorado is. But then we later on in uh, at the end we find out the city is not a city made of gold. It's actually referring to Cortez, and El Dorado is where the chest of Cortez was, and that's where they gave him the gold. And he was known to all the Aztecs as the Gilded Man, El Dorado,
Mm.
and he's the one who took the gold.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
actually
then
super cool.
but in that city, Jack does find one of Cortez's lieutenants' remains, and on him he find I don't know if it's going to be in a diary or like tattooed. I didn't I haven't like decided exactly, but it would be like the directions to Illa de Murta, but then he like loses it while the big confrontation happens, which I borrowed recently from the what is it? Those comics that recently came out. I think they were back in 2017, 2018.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah,
Fort.
the
Yeah. So
Beyond Port Royal stuff.
yeah, the Mother of Water, the
Yeah.
giant snake. I was gonna use that, but the Aztecs called it Quetzalcoatl.
Mm.
So yeah, it would be they would have to fight against a giant snake to get out of this temple, which is starting to fall apart.
That is super
Um,
cool. Yeah, I like that
and so,
idea a
yeah,
lot. That's cool.
yeah. So Jack would like lose the directions, but he knows the bearings,
Mm.
and no one else does to get there. And since he has the compass, it's the only thing that can. He's the only person that can get them there at that point. And then the whole thing. There's a like yeah. So there's yeah. I've written a bunch for that. That's what I would want. Sorry, this is a long
No, you're
explanation.
good.
That's what I would want personally. Would be a prequel
Hmm.
to Pirates of the Caribbean, because by the end of Dead Men Tell No Tales, we're out of the golden age of piracy.
Hmm.
It's like so we would have to go like, and I feel like that's where a lot of the charm of pirates is in that era.
Hmm.
So I feel like we would want to go backwards, or I was more excited for like a reboot with completely different characters but set in the same world. I
Hmm.
was more for that than a sixth film. But yeah, I don't know if they did continue. Yeah, I did have another. It was more fan fiction than anything, than me trying to write an actual script, which was centered, not like exactly centered, but yeah, a young boy uh, who's looking for his dad, which is Jack Sparrow. So it would be centered around Jack Sparrow's son, and him, Henry, and Karina working together to
Hmm.
find Jack. And that's what the movie would mainly be about. And then I I I kept borrowing stuff like you played the Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the idea of a dark brethren
Hmm.
would be awesome, and I think for this story that I had in my head was this would take place right after Dead Men Tell No Tales. So Shansa, who's a sea witch, um, resurrects Jones, but now he's human,
Mm, okay.
and he wants to what was it? He wants to find, and I forgot what I called it, but it's like a crown, and like once you put it on, like you have all the powers of the one who I don't know if I made it like Poseidon's crown or something. So then you would have all the powers of the sea,
Hmm.
just like his trident, but they destroyed it. But they're like, but his crown survived. I think that's what I was going with, or Neptune's, just like in the original. So I don't know, but yeah. So so as a human, Davy Jones is looking for that. So he's starting to find he with the help of Shanza bring back all the other villains from the other films to make a Dark Brethren. So he brings back Beckett. He brings back Salazar. He brings back Barbosa. But Barbosa like is doing what Davy Jones asks, but then he's also helping Henry and them
Hmm.
because he doesn't want Jones to kill his daughter. But so he's like two timing. He's two timing him. So I just thought that concept of Davy Jones coming back, since they kind of teased it,
Hmm.
but as we saw, he kind of shed it off of Barnacle.
Yeah.
Like, he comes back, but he's starting to become human. I thought that would be a good way to, if they want to do Davy Jones again, to bring it back. Um, and yeah, so it would be them looking for Jack while that is happening. And I think it would end that. I think I had it to where um, Davy Jones stabs Jack through the heart while because Jack is trying to save his son because Davy Jones was going to kill his son, but he
Hmm.
gets in his way and it goes through his heart. And then I think Jones, says something along the lines of like, "You're a fool." Um, to die for him, and then Jack's like, it's the only way I could get you in an open position to stab you, and then stabs him through the heart. And so so then Jones, because he's mortal again, dies, and so Jack dies trying to save his son, but uh, and then I think he had a line like, because his son was like, I thought you wanted to live forever. He's like, I will now through you.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then the very last part, everyone's on board the Black Pearl, but they're all like mourning Jack. And so Elizabeth's there, Will, Henry, Karina, Gibbs, and they're all like just doing like stuff on the ship, um, like sharpening their swords, messing with the sails, and then Elizabeth starts to sing yo ho, a pirate's life for me. And then everyone like kind of joins in, and then they start sailing off, and then you see a sparrow fly into frame, and so here's the Black Pearl, and then there's the sunset, and then the sparrow comes into frame, and then it's the he's a pirate theme starts to
Mhm.
play and credits roll. And I think yeah, that's how I would want it to end,
That's cool.
like in my head canon.
And kind of like the
Yeah.
tattoo as well, like the last kind of
Yeah,
visual.
yeah, it's
That's
like
cool.
that's Jack Sparrow's legacy right there. The Black Pearl and his tattoo. He died, and now you could say he's been resurrected as a bird, a sparrow, and he's flying for freedom. Yeah,
That's awesome. That is super cool. I haven't really given like kind of full ideas any thought, but what I'm hoping for, if it does become a reality, of course, I am hoping that they bring Henry and Karina back because I feel like that was kind
Yeah.
of the whole point of Pirates 5 was kind of setting up the newer
Well,
characters.
yeah, and they were contracted to do more films because
Yeah.
they, when they were shooting five, they were originally going to do another one right after part six,
Mm,
but I I don't know why that it got shut down for them to, because it did make a lot of money, not
yeah.
as much as the other ones, but you know, at least um, not just domestically but worldwide, it made over its what it cost to make it. So
Mm,
I don't know why they weren't going to do it right away. Probably because of Johnny Depp's, legal issues at the time.
yeah.
That might have played into it. So, but yeah, they were contracted to come back for a second film to be in it. So and they were going to shoot it, but that didn't happen. So yeah, they should be back for the six, definitely.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I also, when that rumor came out about Jack Sparrow's son being like the main character, I was kind of on board with that. I know a lot of people were kind of against that,
Mhm.
but I was kind of for it because it kind of completes the new trio of characters. So you have Will and Elizabeth's son, Barbossa's daughter, and Jack's son, kind of the actual next generation of like the original characters, which I think would be
Yeah,
really
it's
cool.
yeah the same dynamic. The Will, Elizabeth, and Jack. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then yeah, you could kind of play it almost the same where Jack's son is trying to get with Karina, and Henry's like, "What are you doing?" And another kind of like love triangle situation. Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, at least what I'm hoping for is at least Henry and Karina come back. Um, who knows really what the actual movie is going to be? I am
Right.
I am kind of hoping that so Jerry Bruckheimer is getting recognized as a Disney legend this year at D23. So since he's
Then
there, a
I,
lot of people are theorizing that maybe Pirates 6 will be announced this year at D23. So that's what I'm
mhm.
hoping. I'm holding out some hope that maybe this is the year that finally gets announced, but we'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
because
But
they said he said they're just waiting on the script to be perfect before they make any way on it.
yeah,
Which yeah, because what the last interview he said it's neck and neck between Pirates and the new Mission Impossible.
and Top Gun 3, I think he
Yeah,
was
he
talking
said
about.
which yeah. Oh yeah, maybe it was Top Gun, not Mission Impossible. I knew it was Tom Cruise. I
Yeah,
just forget. Yeah, but yeah, so whichever script gets finished first, that's the one they're gonna go into production. So hopefully, you know, the script gets done by then. Yeah, because I would also like to see, since they didn't do it for Dead Men Tell No Tales, if they just rework it, probably a new MacGuffin or whatever. But if they did Terry Russio's original script for Dead Men Tell No Tales,
mm,
and like have the Sea Witch, I feel like that's the one thing that's been missing is like a female antagonist.
yeah,
I feel like yeah, if they went that route, and who knows, that it could be, and that's who Margot Robbie is.
yeah. That could be. That'd be super
That
cool.
yeah, I feel like if they went with that script, and then they can also bring in other characters.
Mm,
Though I guess the only difference is they said that this new one might have Jack Sparrow in it, but that script is very Jack Sparrow heavy, so who knows?
yeah, I guess we'll find out. Hopefully, we'll find out later
Yeah,
this year. I just want some kind of like official confirmation, just so I can kind of be like, it is
I
happening,
mean,
instead of being like the constant like, oh yeah, we're working on the script every like
yeah,
3 months or
it
so.
is kind of weird, and it's harder now with how technology is today,
Hmm.
because I remember back in 2015 when there was whispers of Dead Men Tell No Tales, but you could go on the internet and you could find like the pictures of the sets that they were building and some people in costume. And so I remember like seeing the St. Martin set
Mm.
back in 2015, and all the and then the big skeleton whale that they had built for the altar scene.
Mm,
Like I remember seeing all that in released in 2015. I mean, it wasn't released, but you had to go digging for those pictures.
mm,
Like now you can't because so many people do like AI stuff with
yeah.
everything. It's like some of it's recognizable as AI, but some looks so good. It's like, is that real or not?
Yeah.
And I feel like that kind of ruins it. Like anyone can make anything now,
Mm,
and it's hard to tell what's real and what isn't. And that's a shame because I would really want to know if they've been like starting Pirate Six and like
mm.
building sets for it until the script is done. But I keep searching and I haven't really found anything. But there is one thing um, I want to bring up, which I don't know if anyone else has heard or read about. Uh, I think it was announced last year. St. Vincent, they're reconstructing the original Curse of Black Pearl set, and they're building upon it, and they
Mm.
want to make it a theme park for people to come and visit the original sets.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I don't know if because they said they wanted to release it in 2026 and have people come down because they were just going to kind of like extend a little bit of it and probably bring in some of the ships from the films. But a lot of them have been demolished. So I don't know if
Mm,
they were just going to rebuild them as just sets that weren't saleable. Um, and if they do, I'm wondering if it's going to be like they're going to work with Disney and actually have it as like how like Galaxy's Edge is
mm.
and the what is it treasure trove, is that what it's called in Shanghai Disneyland?
Oh, a Treasure Cove.
Treasure Cove, yeah.
Yeah.
Like how that's all pirates themed.
Mm,
Like I wonder if they're going to do that there in St. Vincent with the original set, like have a port royal but
mm.
have like a bunch of pirates and characters walking around.
That'd be really cool. I would love
But
that.
yeah, they announced that last year in 2025 that they were gonna open that up to the public, and it would be more of a theme park. And they were, but I don't know if they were gonna work with Disney to make it, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean official, or if it
Mm,
was just gonna be pirates in general.
mm.
But yeah, they wanted to show off the movie sets to build revenue for the island.
That's cool. Yeah, it's one of my goals to hopefully get there someday and check out those sets.
Oh yeah, same. I want to be dressed up and go on the dock. Yeah, that would be amazing.
So I guess we talked about Pirates 6.
Mhm.
I guess so. Obviously, this year, Dead Man's Chest is turning 20 years old in a few months. So I guess what do you think has made the Pirates movies so beloved over time? We've kind of talked about it a bit, but
Um, yeah. Well, since it is the 20-year anniversary of Dead Men Tell No Tales, are we mainly speaking of that film or the franchise as a whole?
it's up to you. I guess you could talk about Dead Man's Chest if you want first.
Yeah, yeah, it's a great. Actually, yeah, like I said before, um, that switches as my number two spot with At World's End sometimes, but
Mm,
this year it's definitely number two because of the 20-year anniversary. And it's the one film that like got like reinvigorated that pirate life for me. Like I just wanted to be in that movie. It's like I think what it is after Curse of the Black Pearl, Disney knew right away they had something special. And so they were like, make two films back to back starting as soon as possible. And they were rushing to get the scripts done. And they didn't even know that, they would make it.
mm,
I'm pretty sure, yeah, you've seen all the commentaries and the behind the scenes stuff.
yeah.
It almost didn't happen. And the fact that it did is like a miracle.
Mm,
And because it happened, we got two films out of it. And um, it's stunt work, it's set design. Um, I think the underdogs of this whole thing, for at least the franchise, has been all the crew members that worked rigorously on the films for those years,
Hmm.
being away from their families to make something that special. I think that's why it's like lasted, because so much love and detail and attention went into those films. People literally, you know, surrendering their lives to it for a certain amount of years,
Hmm.
um, to make it's art, yeah. I think there's people out there like you and me that it just awoken something in us,
Hmm.
and now that it's awoken, there's no way to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So it's and the best part is, even if they don't make any more Pirates films, we have those 5 to go
Hmm.
back to
Yeah.
and rewatch them and get out our swords when he's a Pirates playing and
Hmm.
swing them around.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the music too.
Yeah.
The music. Oh my goodness, that I kind of want to ask you that too. What's do you have a favorite song, favorite soundtrack with the music?
I th- I think At World's End is probably my favorite as well for the on the music
Mm.
side of things. Um, I think Will and Elizabeth's love theme in At World's End is so good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um,
I think that's what gets me choked up about
mhm.
watching the opening scene for Dead Men Tell No Tales, is that they reuse that theme,
Yeah.
and that little bit at the end.
Hmm.
Oh, that gets me. I'm like, I get all teary eyed. I'm like, oh, Will and Elizabeth.
Yeah, it's definitely. I don't. I don't know if that's my number one. It's definitely in my top three.
Oh yeah,
Um, I think number one has to be the "He's a Pirate" theme, just iconic.
yeah, yeah.
But
There's no getting away from that.
yeah, and I think "Up is Down" is good too. "Wheel of Fortune" from Dead Man's Chest during the whole Ela Crucis scene. I love the music during that. Um, so many good ones. Davy Jones theme, the Kraken's theme, Jack Sparrow theme is also really good.
What is it? The end credits for At World's End.
Oh, Drink Up Me
Lines
Hearties Yo Ho.
Yeah, Drink Up Me Hearties Your Hope, like
Yeah,
that opening bit of music, that to me, that and Up is Down, there it's like it just captures like not just like the franchise, but like that pirate sound. Whenever
yeah,
I think where it's just like do 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 do, I'm like, oh yeah, that's it for me. Such a great send off too.
yeah, yeah. I think At World's End, I would say, is probably my favorite. Has my
Yeah.
favorite soundtrack of the
Oh
films.
yeah, that's probably yeah. That would probably be my favorite soundtrack. Definitely. Second would be Curse. Um, hot take. My third favorite would be on Stranger Tides, because of 3 songs that aren't even in the film,
Mm,
but they're on that soundtrack by Rodrigo and Gabriella.
mm,
The Pirate That Should Not Be.
yes.
Um, what's the other one? Angry and Dead,
Mm.
and South of Heaven's Gate slash
South
Enchanting
Chanting
Mermaid.
Mermaids. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. They're so underrated because I wish they were in the movie at like I don't know some
yeah.
scene,
I don't
but
know where they would be, but like those, I think listening to those songs made me really want to have them in my prequel script that I worked on, because it
mhm,
would like after that opening scene, it would start in Havana, and that's when we will get introduced to like Bootstrap, who arrives at the docks in Havana, who's looking for work,
mhm,
and then uh, my Jack Sparrow introduction for that film is it focuses on a merchant ship. There's the captain who says he's gonna uh, go down to the next watering hole to get a drink, And then he tells his crewmates, make sure you get all that shipment to the docks. And so he passes, and then it focuses on a barrel, and we think all the crew members have left. So then Jack pops up, and his iconic music from what is it, the Medallion Calls?
Yeah.
That music starts playing, and then he notices more crew members come, so he goes back down into the barrel, and then they pick up their barrel, and then they take it to the docks and they turn it over.
Hmm.
So now his feet are on the bottom, or no, wait. Now he's upside down and he has to turn around, and
Hmm.
then he lifts the barrel up and he's like trying to be incognito and is walking around town under a barrel. And then uh, this one guy comes out and he's drinking, and then he sees the barrel just walking by, and then he looks at the bottle and then throws it, and then that scene comes again, but comes back, but then um, Jack's being chased by these guards, and then the same guy comes back out, but this time he's holding water, and then he sees it, and then he shakes his head, throws it, and grabs more rum. And so yeah, but that like the that those three songs like really like had that Spanish guitar influence, and
Hmm.
I really love that sound. I get why it's used in On Stranger Tides because of all the Spanish influence. So I wish they had like left that because those are some really good songs, but
Hmm.
not a lot of people know that because it's not in like the films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Dead Man Tell No Tales soundtrack is a bit underrated because I feel like there's a lot of like really cool musical themes that are introduced in there, like
Yeah,
Karina and Salazar.
yeah,
A lot
like
of
some of
interesting
the
stuff.
the score, which isn't necessarily on the soundtrack, but there's
Hmm.
like when Jack is looking at the black pearl in the bottle, like that
Yeah.
like bit of music as he's like walking up to the railing,
Mm.
like that's like really good.
Yeah, I love that moment.
Um I do like some of it. I feel like the main theme, which is completely different than the original He's a Pirate, but it is like a really good like adventure kind of thing. The dun 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 dun, dun. Or wait, no, that's not how's it? You know, probably know it better than me.
Is it the like when like the kind of like the that plays during like Jack Sparrow doing stuff or at the end of the movie? You mean?
Yeah, or whenever it's like the big action scenes,
Oh, okay, yeah, I know what you mean.
but it's like very, it's different, but it it's good. But I feel like if they did like a spin-off Pirates movie, that that music would work way better because
Hmm.
it is different, but it does have like that adventure sense to it. I just wish they used more of he's a pirate in those scenes.
Hmm.
But then again, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's good that they made it their own thing.
Yeah, I like how original it is. I guess my one gripe with the On Street or Tide soundtrack is I feel like they kind of reuse too much.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
Like I said, like, besides those three songs, well, actually, they did reuse a lot of Jack's themes, but it is like one of my favorite composited ones. Guilty of being innocent of
yeah,
being Jack's.
hmm,
I do like it, but yeah, I agree. It's overly used and rehashed, and instead of making something new.
hmm.
But yeah.
But I guess is there anything else? Or I guess Hidden Mickeys. I remember you mentioned that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 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 There's some Easter eggs that I don't know if you mentioned in the podcast. I don't think you did. At least because I was re-listening to the Curse of the Black Pearl one.
Mm,
Um, I think you know about it. Maybe you just didn't mention it. Like you know, after Jack dives and is bringing up Elizabeth, you
hmm.
see the clouds rolling in, and they make the form of an outstretched hand to come and claim the gold.
I don't actually think I actually picked up on that. I might have at
Yeah,
some point, but I just forgotten about it. But yeah, that's pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah. If you look at it, it makes the form of a hand, and it's getting closer to Will and Elizabeth as they're passing by.
Very cool. That's super
Yeah,
cool.
and then another one, um, when they make Elizabeth walk the plank, and
Mm.
then Barbosa wants her to take off her dress, and then she throws it back and says it goes with your black heart.
Mm.
That's a little Easter egg, a callback to Jay Wolpert's version of the script
Oh, he
when
was named Captain
his
Blackheart.
original character was called Captain Blackheart. So it's like if you didn't know that, it just seems like, oh yeah, she's calling him like a scoundrel, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's because that was his original name, was Captain Blackheart.
That's very
Uh,
cool.
I like that they kind of kept that in there.
Mm-hmm. I guess
Yeah.
one of my favorite things, I guess, like specifically the hidden Mickey in Curse of the Black Pearl with the smoke
Mhm. Oh
during
yeah,
the siege on Port Royal. I
yeah.
I don't think I knew about that until I went on like a vacation, I think in like 2014 to Disney's Hilton Head Resort in South Carolina,
Oh, okay.
and I guess they had like a bunch of like activities and stuff. And one of the activities, like one of those days, was like a pirate like meeting or like club kind of meeting thing or something. And I remember I went to that because I was a big Pirates of the Caribbean fan, and there was like maybe like two or three other people there. Um, but like the main guy who was kind of the big like activities like director. I don't know what his actual title was, but he was asking me, do you like Pirates of the Caribbean? I'm like, yeah, I do. He's like, do you know about this hidden Mickey in Curse of Black Pearl? I'm like, no, I didn't. So he proceeds to tell me about that hidden Mickey, and every time I see it in the movie now, I think of that. So that's pretty cool.
All right.
But
Okay. So the one in Dead Man's Chest is the Dead Man's Chest lock.
mm,
When it opens up, it creates the Mickey silhouette. And then the third one, yeah, it's Mickey on the Malkoon map.
yeah,
You know, I know you mentioned that one. In on Stranger Tides, it's the little coin that's in his hair.
mm-hmm.
It forms the Mickey shape. And I'm still trying to look for one in Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
don't.
know if they
I'm not
put
aware
it
of any.
put one in there. I I keep on like looking at everything in the film, like like any of the ropes or any smoke that comes up, or even like the albatross birds that fly. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like trying to look in to see if there's any Mickeys. uh, I haven't found one, but maybe we can make that a little game. If we can try and find the last hidden Mickey for the last film, and then we'll just let each other know.
Yeah,
But
I'll have to look.
I'm still looking for that one. I want to believe there is one in there. It's got to be somewhere. But
Hopefully.
yeah. And then something you had talked about in your Dead Men Tell No Tales podcast. I think when it comes to Shansa and her
Mm-hmm.
getting the compass, I think in the podcast, I don't know if like you actually know, but like you had said you don't know how she got the compass.
I think so. I remember saying that. Yeah.
Um, so if you paid attention in I mean, you have to rewatch it. I rewatched it and I finally picked up on it after like
Mm-hmm.
my 10th time watching it, because yeah, the same thing happened to me. I was like, how did I get she's magic, but how did she come across it? How
Mm-hmm.
did she get it in that like small amount of time? When Jack puts like throws the compass into the pile of stuff, you see a rat in the shot,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I did
and then
pick
you
up on that a
see
few
all
few
the
watches ago.
and then you see the rats in her cell like
Mm,
coming from the beams and down. So one of the rats brought her the compass, is what I think it was trying to allude to, but
yeah.
they didn't make it clear.
Mm. Yeah, I think I
Yeah,
picked up on that a few watches ago. Probably
yeah,
after I made those
yeah,
episodes,
you
but yeah.
definitely have to rewatch it, because I thought the same thing. I'm like, how did she get it besides her just then, because they do it throughout the whole movie, they just say stuff without explaining it.
Mm-hmm.
uh Yeah, that's I could talk hours about Dead Men Tell No Tales for why it's bad and why it's good, because there's a lot of good stuff, but so much stuff. But yeah, that was something that was mentioned, and I was like, oh yeah, Let me let him know. Yeah, it's the rats. That's how he got the compass. Yeah. Or how she got the compass. Yeah.
I guess, is there anything else that I'm trying to think of anything else? I went through all the questions I had prepared, so I think
Um,
unless you have anything else.
I do have one for you, which I kind of thought up of earlier when we were talking. Because you're talking about best scenes. What about like best like lines?
Ooh, hmm. There's so many good ones and so many that like I just like kind of like just like quote subconsciously. Just
Yeah.
like I think one of the ones that always kind of comes to mind is like Jack's little speech to Will on the Interceptor, uh, what a
Oh
man
yeah,
can and
that's a good
can't
one.
do. That one always kind of comes to mind. I don't know if that's my favorite line. Um, I feel like if I had to pick right now, I think so many good ones. I'm trying to think of one that there's a lot of Barbosa lines that I really love.
Mm.
Especially kind of the ones that are more like based on the ride. Like
Oh, that
right
World's
before
End one.
before they go over the waterfall.
Oh yeah, that
That
one's
one's
really.
really good. But yeah, some of them I'll just like I'll be like I love how they said that. I love how it was written. Like in On Street or Tides, Blackbeard, when Jack is pinned to the post in Blackbeard's cabin, and Blackbeard says, "Your words surround you like fog and make you hard to see." Like I just like I
Mm.
love that line for some reason. It's so like I don't know what it is about it, but it's so
Good
like
description. Yeah.
yeah. But there's so
Yeah.
many like good lines. I don't know if I have a favorite right now, but there's so many that will just kind of just like pop into my head and I'm like, oh, such a good piece of writing and
Oh
how it was
yeah,
delivered just makes it even better.
most definitely. Yeah. I think I have two on the top of my head that I don't know if the second one's like my favorite, but it's my favorite to like say that helps me get in character. But the first one would probably be me, I'm dishonest. And a dishonest man you can always trust to be dishonest, honestly. It's the honest ones you have to watch out for because you can never predict when they're going to do something incredibly stupid. And then I think the second one would be ladies, will you please shut it? Now listen to me. Yes, I lied to you. No, I don't love you, because it makes you look fat. It is pronounced egregious, and no, I never met Pizarro, but I love his pies. And all this fails in utter insignificance in light of the fact that my ship is once again gone. Savvy? That's just like I don't know why that whole like little scene. Like I wish that was more in the movie
Mm,
just because it has like the color saturation like Dead Man's Chest
mm,
with all like the greens and yellows and browns. It like that for some reason that scene like really pops. I also like Jack's like little kraken piece of eight, the kraken tooth
yeah,
that's and then I don't know like the dialogue right there. I'm just like, oh yeah, that's Jack Sparrow.
yeah. I love that one too. I'll find myself kind of like indirectly quoting that sometimes. Um,
Yeah,
it's just such a funny moment. Also, just like I love how he just continues and goes back and forth between Giselle and Scarlet. It's a very good moment.
yeah, yeah. So those two, I probably quote the most, just trying to get into character. Yeah.
I think one's coming to mind right now. From Will at the end of Curse of the Black Pearl, right after he saves Jack. Um, my God, I'm blanking on the line right now, but wow, why am I forgetting this line? I feel like it's always been in my head until like just now.
Oh wait, which film?
From Curse of the Black Pearl, right after Will saves Jack, and they're all surrounded by the Marines, and Norrington comes up.
Oh, oh, dang it. What does he say? That now you got me. I can hear Norrington, but I'm like, oh, does what does Will say? the only thing I could think of is like when Weatherby is like, he's a pirate, and then he goes, and a good man.
Mhm.
Like that's the only thing I could really
I'm trying to
think of.
remember what the line is right now, but I can't. And now I'm trying to look it up real quick because
Yeah, because
I can't believe I'm forgetting it.
that's when like Jack like points to himself,
Yeah.
and then yeah, yeah. Oh,
Oh, if the hangman, God, it's coming back in fragments. Like two boots instead of one, so be it. At least my conscience will be clear.
yeah,
I
that's it.
love that one. Can't believe I forgot most of it, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I love that line as well.
That's yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Um, I kind of like sad. Again, I don't want to keep bringing it up, but like in Dead Man Tell No Tales, I wish like when Elizabeth and Will see each other and like after they kiss or whatever, if Elizabeth would have said, "I kept my eye out on the horizon."
Mm,
I wish he had said something to allude to
yeah,
that.
that would have been cool. Or
Um,
just say anything in general would have been
well, yeah,
nice.
well, yeah,
But yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's sad she doesn't want to do but
yeah, that would have been a cool line.
oh, I guess I also like a lot of Pintel's lines too. He's got some good ones. I think the one in Dead Man's Chest I would say a lot is what is it? I'm trying to think of what it said. I forget what it said before, but then he goes, "Ain't that right, Uchi?"
Oh yeah,
To the
yeah.
dog. Yeah,
Yeah, and that yeah, that's a really good moment too, where they're talking about the Bible. And it's the
yeah.
Bible. You get credit for trying.
You
So
put
pretending
it
to
for
read the
sure.
Bible was a
It's a
lie.
lie. That's a mark against. Ugh. Yeah.
I also love when they're in the boat going to Isla Cruces and they're talking about the Kraken, the pronunciation of the Kraken. That one's really good too.
Oh yeah.
Like, well, we ain't original Scandinavians, are we?
And then I also like when they're on Al Cruces and they're just waiting uh,
Mm-hmm.
by the boat, and then like Ragetti is like balancing the shovel. He's like, "I
Yeah.
could join the circus."
Yeah. I love that. It's such an underrated moment. I think it's so
I
funny.
know, but oh, that gets me all because I find myself doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll like try and balance something. I'm like, "I could join the circus."
I love how Pintel's like pacing around. It's like, mind the boat. Mind if I shine your shoes, sir?
Yeah,
Such a good moment. I love
it,
those two.
in my head canon, they they jumped overboard when Blackbeard took over
Mm-hmm.
and swam to ashore, and then they started their business. Pintel and Ragetti, Kraken Slayers.
Yeah.
They're just like selling like Kraken parts to
Mm-hmm.
people. Yeah, that's like in my head canon. Like they just went into a business together.
Yeah, I like to think they survived. I don't think
Yeah.
they died.
Well,
In
yeah,
my head they're still alive somewhere.
because yeah, in Terry Rossios they come back, but
Yeah.
uh, I don't know why they just didn't have them come in instead of. I mean, I would like them with Murtaugh and Mulroy,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know because I think yeah, for back in 2015 they said yeah, we'd like to return because they didn't do it for four. Um, Pintal, what's his name?
Lee Ehrenberg.
Lee Ehrenberg. He said he would return, but he won't do it without Ragetti.
Mm-hmm.
But Ragetti was working on something at the time, so he couldn't. And he's like, "Yeah, I'll only come back if he does." But then they were both free in 2015 to start shooting for Dead Men Tell No Tales, and they weren't brought back on.
Mm. Yeah, I think there was like early concept art for Dead Man Tell No Tales of them kind of wearing like
Mhm.
fancier outfits and stuff. So I
Oh,
guess
yeah.
they were definitely probably in some earlier draft and then at some point just changed to Murtaugh and
I,
Mulroy for
I
some
think they,
reason.
yeah, I think they were like, maybe it's probably because Jeff Nathanson didn't know how to balance the two comedic duos
Mm.
together, which I feel like there's a lot of fun stuff you could do with that.
Yeah.
Because like you were saying, and like they had it in like some of the comics,
Mm,
like the one on their first day as
yeah.
pirates.
Mm,
Like there's so much they could have like done between the two duos.
mm,
Because I love when at the end at World's End when they're in dressed up as pirates and they're like, "Ah, shiver me timbers!" And then like Pintel and Regetta are just like looking at him like,
yeah.
"What?"
Yeah, I think there's untapped potential of combining all four of them together. I think would be super
Yeah,
funny.
like like all four of them work together yet still screw it up
Mm.
would be hilarious.
Yeah, that
But
would be super
yeah,
cool.
yeah. Okay, my last question because I know this is going on a bit for you. What are your hopes and wishes, and what else do you want to cover on the podcast?
So what I'm hoping to cover next is going more into like the video games. So
Oh,
Sea of Thieves, the Pirates of the Caribbean Sea of Thieves crossover, and then probably like a bunch of the other older Pirates of the Caribbean games I do want to cover. So that's kind of like the immediate plans that I'm thinking of. Um, but after that, I'm not too sure. I'll probably get some more ideas later on, but the video
oh,
games I think are kind of my last thing I need to cover, and then I'll kind of maybe branch out into maybe doing some like analyses of characters or maybe the
yeah,
music
I
could be something
yeah,
cool. But yeah,
I think I think that's like probably like that's what I was like thinking maybe you would go is like
mm,
you start to covering like different characters and like maybe going into their backstories and stuff.
yeah.
Because I yeah, I think there's a lot of cool stuff, and then you could just like I think you could do a lot with that. Um, yeah. Anything else for the podcast? You
Um,
wish that go
well,
to
I'm hoping as well for more interviews with people who've worked on the movies. Obviously, I got to interview
right?
David
Yeah,
Vengus earlier this year, which was
that
super
was
cool.
awesome. Yeah.
Um, but I'm hoping maybe later this year get in contact with some other crew members or maybe some people who are like cast members. That'd be really really
Yeah,
cool.
I do know. I don't think I mentioned this. Um, because like Lee Ehrenberg,
Mm-hmm.
Pentel, he does like a lot of conventions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I know like during COVID, he was like, he had it. What's that one thing that they started during COVID, where he could talk with celebrities?
Was it Cameo?
Yeah, Cameo.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was big on that, and he would talk to anyone who wanted to talk to him. So I'm pretty sure like you could definitely get Lee Ehrenberg on
Yeah, that's what I'm
because he's
hoping.
he's very open and
Mm-hmm.
very nice to the fans. Same thing with Martin Kleba.
Mm-hmm.
He's very like I think he's doing stuff right now. Right now, he's like on a little Comic Con tour and going to different Comic Cons as Marty. So I'm yeah, I'm sure you can get one of them. I remember my very first pirate festival I went to, which
Mm-hmm.
was we have a big one in Northern California, um, the NorCal Pirate Festival. It's been shut down ever since COVID, but it used to be like really big. My first time I went, I was able to meet the actors. I think it was the guy who plays Bosun. Too long.
Yeah, from
I
Christmas
met
Vault.
him. I met Kaepernick,
Oh,
um, Jacoby, um, uh, not Twig, but the other guy, Kohler.
Kohler.
The guy who
Yeah,
played
yeah, yeah.
Kohler. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
I met like they were there for the festival, and I got to meet them. There's a picture of me and Bosun somewhere on the internet. I don't have it on my phone or anything now. That was a long time ago. It might be on one of my old computers, but yeah, there's a picture out there somewhere of me and Bosun, and
That's super cool.
that was cool. Yeah. Um, I think I did do a cameo with what's the actor's name? Lieutenant Groves.
Oh, Greg Ellis.
Yeah. He had wished me a happy birthday for my, I think it was my 29th or 30th birthday. And in the video, um, he did the line. He's like, "You've got to be the worst fire I've ever heard of," and I was like,
That's cool.
"Oh, that's awesome." So yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
But
cool.
yeah, I'm sure you can get like one of them to come onto the podcast, and yeah, especially Lee Ehrenberg. He's very open. I hear
Mm.
some of the other sparrows have like talked with him and done interviews with him. I can try and get one of them for you, see if they can get in contact with him. That way you can have him on the podcast because yeah, what you're doing is awesome. I stumbled upon it uh, like 2 months ago, and I've just been listening every day on my way to work. I'm like, yeah, more pirates because we need more pirates. So thank you for all that you've done.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm glad you've enjoyed it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, anything else you want to say before we wrap up, or I guess where people could find you, or
Oh yeah. So you can find me on Instagram under drunkdead_John. Um, and then if you're in the Sacramento, California area and you want to hire Captain Jack Sparrow, you can go to my Facebook business page, Captain's Calling. And then I do some events around that you could probably catch me at. Like I'll be at the Edge of Spring Fantasy Festival. I'll have my own tent and everything. You can come see me and meet Captain Jack Sparrow, hang out, have a drink, play some wages. Hey,
awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jonathan, for
thank
taking
you,
the
thank
time to
you.
talk. It's been a pleasure. So,
Yeah, my bad. I didn't do that much Captain Jack for you. Maybe in another video we can collaborate again, and maybe do something together with actual Captain Jack Sparrow, and John can be off to the side. So yeah,
all right. I wish you.
and Jack says hi. That's Jack the monkey. Come
Yeah,
here,
I
you.
know.
No,
Oh.
he's dead.
Well, you hate that monkey anyway, so it's.
Oh yeah, you can go sleep it off. Had too much sleep. Hey,
All right. Well, thank you, Captain Jack, and thank you,
me
Jonathan, as
too.
well. I'll see you. Have a good night. Take care.
All right, cheers, mate.
And that wraps up my conversation with Jonathan Swindle. You can find Jonathan on Instagram at drunkdead_John and over on Facebook at Captain's Calling. I'll have his links in the episode description if you want to go check him out. But hopefully, you all enjoyed listening to this episode as I had so much fun talking with Jonathan. It's always a blast talking with fans of Pirates of the Caribbean who love it just as much as I do. Now, I do want to make a quick announcement here, and you'll hear it in the outro in just a second, but I recently started a Facebook page for Podcast of the Caribbean. You can find it by searching for Podcast of the Caribbean on there, so definitely go give it a follow. But thank you if you've left a rating or review on the podcast, and also thank you just for being here and listening. It means the world to me. I'll see you all next time. Take care. Podcast of the Caribbean is in no way affiliated with Disney. If you want to send me an email or question, send it over to podcastofthecaribbean@gmail.com. You can also follow this podcast on Instagram, Threads, and Facebook at Podcast of the Caribbean, and over on Twitter/X and Bluesky at Podcast POTC. I post fun content over there, so make sure to check those platforms out. You can also buy merchandise for the podcast over on TeePublic and Dashery. Be sure to keep a weather eye on the horizon, and always remember, dead men tell no tales.